Hola, hola. Welcome to our podcast. This is our first one. And who are these people? Who are we?
Who are we? Well, I will introduce myself first. I am Michelle from Casita Michi, owner and founder.
And I'm Carla Corazon, owner and founder of Casita Candles. So, very similar names, similar workspaces. People must think, oh my God, they must hate each other. What's the beef? I think people have made a lot of assumptions. I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Do you want to arm wrestle me right now?
I did 3 years ago. No.
Oh! Shots fired.
Just kidding. But I think that that's what everybody thought.
Yeah.
You know, what are we? I'm 3 years into this journey now. Carla's a little bit longer. You're 4.5 years into this journey. And I swear, y'all, I did not know she existed when I started Casita Michi. And I think vice versa. It took us a while before we connected and found each other, probably 2 years ago.
Yeah. I remember seeing you and I'm like, oh my God. I wasn't sure about it, right? And then I had posted something, but you were friendly. You know, I was like, I don't know how should I interpret this? And honestly, you were so friendly and kind. I had posted something about like, fuck, I can't get enough wax. You know, remember when everybody,
we were going through a struggle 2 years ago where everybody decided, mind you, I had already been close to a year into my business, Carla 2 years into her business. And then COVID created this plethora of, I'm going to be a candle maker.
No, but we love it. We're here for it. But the issue was for like,
y'all were taking up our wax.
Okay, sure. The hobbyists were taking up all the wax.
I'm here for it because there's a difference between a hobbyist and Carla and I. This was our full-time job. Like this is like, this wasn't a hobby or a side thing.
That's the other thing I think about now that I've gone through this whole journey, and like I waited and I was like, I have to research and wait for like the perfect conditions, you know? And it was late 2019. And like, I have my strategy. And then boom, the pandemic, right? Oh and then everything, all my carefully planned strategies just like went out the window. And I'd never owned a business before. What a fucking wild time to earn your sea legs, man. I don't know everything now, but I know so much more than I did before.
But who knows everything?
I know, right?
I feel like that would be boring if we knew everything. Because I feel like part of life is constantly growing and evolving. And even though I've had a business before, the candle business, which I started amidst the pandemic, I feel like I'm still learning stuff, and growing. And so back to kind of how we met.
Yeah, sorry, I went off of her.
We can do that, by the way. We should, a full disclosure, you will hear a lot more of us, and we do this. And believe it or not, we talk like 3-4 times a week, and we can go off on tangents and then end up on 3-4 hour conversations.
Yeah, usually it's like,
while we're trying to get work done.
I have to pee.
This one's normally like, I have to eat or pee. And then have to cut this off. I'm like, oh, I got to get back to work. But yeah, so 2 years ago on social media.
Yeah.
I think she got a feel for me, and what you see is what you get.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want any fucking wax. And Michelle was like, hey girl, I got a hookup. What kind of wax are you using? And then
I had a hookup, y'all.
Yeah, she had the hookup. And you also talked, I had posted something about like personal self-care practices. And you're like, what does that mean?
Yes, I was so intrigued that Carla was not only a yogi, but very specific type of yogi. And I was just going through a lot when I started Casita Michi, that I was trying to practice obviously more self-care through candles and through other things. And now I remember that was a conversation, how I kind of like, what do you do? Yeah. What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I was talking about like trauma-informed yoga. And so like my family's from El Salvador, and there's a war, there's a lot of trauma. So naturally, when I went into the yoga space, I was like really, really drawn to the effects of trauma on the body, learning about polyvagal theory, learning yoga therapy. So like I've been obsessed with this stuff like nonstop for a little bit now. And I'm honestly, why I started Casita Candles was in an effort to find like a platform to do something, to share all the things I was really like privileged enough to learn. And I think about my parents' generation and like their access to self care, not even just tools, but like the concept of self care, you
I
know?
don't even think that was a concept
No,
anybody
¿qué es
embraced or
eso?
practiced. It
Yeah,
was very a selfish topic, and you didn't talk about it because it was
right.
more like rooted in like, oh, tienes problemas?
Uh
Like,
huh.
¿qué son tus problemas?
Uh
Like,
huh.
nothing was big enough where you had to practice self care.
Right.
And so it's interesting because like you started your journey based off that. And then I think what caught me is when you were talking about like trauma rooted therapy. I having a lot of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
I'm first gen. My parents immigrated from South America, being raised by a single mother. And just my trauma actually led me to create Casita Michi, which is like
Mm-hmm.
an homage to my mother, who I lost at a young age, my brother, who I lost to violence. Just kind of like pouring a candle with intention,
Mm-hmm.
with love from my home to yours. So it's like, who is Casita Michi? And it's me. Michelita is what they used to call me as a kid. And so
Mm-hmm.
Michi is the short version of Michelle. And that's why I came up with Casita Michi, because it was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be creating this product with so much love from home. And as I'm pouring, I'm thinking of all these things that my mother may have gone through and all the sacrifices and how I don't want to squander all this
Mm-hmm.
opportunity and everything that she's given me, you know?
Right.
And I think we connected a bit over that,
Yeah.
our early conversations. And your girl over here, she liked my Nalgona candle. Now I'm also remembering that you supported me and you
Yeah.
bought my Nalgona candle and you're like, this smells so good. And then I think that we just had a real genuine affinity for each
Yeah.
other's products.
Yeah, I think honestly, so much of it is purpose driven. When I think about your candles and your business and your story, I think about how much empowerment means to you and how much your business and your business acumen has been a part of that for you. And I feel like we're both trying to like really inspire a community. And I think it's so beautiful that it's led us here. And now, like, so much. So, what's in a name? Casita Candles, Casita Michi. So, now we're coming together to create Casita del Sol, which
Yeah.
is our love letter to the community. We want this to be the ejemplo of community over
Yeah.
competition.
It's changing that narrative that I think that for so long is like pitting Latinas against the scarcity mentality.
Yep.
It's like that we can't collaborate. None of that gatekeeping is happening here. I think from
Yeah.
the get go, we never gatekeeped. We shared products, we shared wax, everything we did was like, I want to see you level up.
Yeah.
Because we don't see enough of ourselves. We've always talked about how we don't see enough of ourselves represented in the products we use or consume. That
Exactly.
was a very big reason why we also started our businesses, because we
Mm-hmm.
didn't see enough of ourselves. And so what do people always say? Two is better than one.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's beautiful how much of ourselves we're putting into this new brand. So Casita del Sol will be a podcast and a some very exclusive collabs that are
Yes.
still in the works, but
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Yeah, I think that's what's beautiful. I know a lot of people have probably been wondering
Yeah,
because we've
what?
dropped
What are they
we've
up
dropped little
to?
hints that they're like, what are they up to? And it's like, um, Carla has beautiful endeavors that she's pursuing under Casita Candles and Carla Corazon. And
Yes.
then I have what I'm doing under Casita Michi. But what we really realized is that we do enjoy working together, and a lot of creativity is being poured into the conversations we've had over
Mm-hmm.
the past year in developing this brand. But we did want to make it curated, and we wanted to find a way, to interact with other brands, level them up. But they're not just getting one person, they're getting two creative people that care about the messaging, being
Yes.
intentional, taking whatever it is and infusing that into an item that we love so much, which is a candle, which is self-care in
Yeah.
itself. And like, I feel like you can talk more about that because like this girl is the embodiment of, I've learned self-care through you. I feel like she always now jokes like, I really like this version of you. I'm like, I love
I'm
this
like
version
this. I
of
love
me.
this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the other big thing, Casita del Sol, is it's the community over competition brand. We are embodying it, we're living it, and honestly, we've had so many. Like we're both first gen, we both have trauma, we're both trying to figure it out, and honestly, we've had so many rich, juicy conversations, and there's been
Oh
multiple
my God.
times where we've been like,
Conversations, breakthrough, crying sessions,
yeah,
arguing sessions, disagreeing
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
But I share that because at the end of the day, we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
It's healthy. You have to get through things. You have to be able to listen to people. And I think that the way we're raised sometimes, it's just nobody really, unfortunately, listened to us.
Yeah.
Like, we really did kind of raise ourselves and we were told, like, just be grateful. This is what you do. Don't speak up. And now we're in this generation of calladita no más. You know, like,
Yeah.
like we want to be heard.
Yeah.
We want to make sure people understand, like, again, the intentionality behind it. And I think that Casita del Sol, like she says, is us being very intentional about what we want to give back to the community and showing them what it means to have two Latinas
Yes.
that are fiery, chingonas, poderosas, all that, running a brand, collaborating, doing it collectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I think it's really cool. I really like envision it like the Academy Awards to like the Latino community. No, I'm serious. Like I want to work with like those brands that align with our values, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's so inspiring to me.
But
That's
I
bigger.
think that I think that we both want to show these brands like you can support both of us.
Yeah.
Because do you feel like sometimes people come across our brands and feel like they can only rock with one of us? Like, I do want to touch on that because I think that people need to understand, like, that's another reason why we kind of, like, we wanted to change that narrative and take a spin of, like, not feeding into that people felt like they could only support Casita Candles or Casita Michi or, like, they were cheating on one or the other. Yeah, like, oh, my God, if I bought a candle, I can't buy your candle. Like, there's no way I can have a Big Hoop Energy and a Chingona candle. Yeah. Like, right? And, like, trust me, we appreciate our ride or dies. Yeah. Okay, we totally appreciate we appreciate our community. But you can support both of us.
You can. And honestly, us working together, it makes learning to work with other people makes good business sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People do it all the time.
Yeah.
Mergers happen all the time, but you don't see enough of that in our community.
Right.
Why? Because people aren't willing to put their egos aside and figure out a way to work together.
And it's been like instrumental in like figuring out how to get costs down, how we can work together. Like there are opportunities, guys. We need to get organized. We need to get information, you know? Like
there needs to be more of this. I truly feel like more Latino-owned brands, if they were merging, I feel like what we could give back to our community, not only in the message, but in the customer service and the value and the product of the quality, we would be much stronger. So I know that we are just two small businesses, but the picture's bigger. The picture's bigger. Like the dreams are there. Like our missions align, our purpose aligns. I think that's why we're here 2 years later, still having these active conversations, collaborating versus competing, essentially. Yeah.
And you guys have to check out our Instagram video that we recorded.
Oh my God, check out that video. Check out that video.
Carla
is so proud of that video.
I'm so proud.
It was the first time we met in person. The
first time.
Like 2 years ago. And look, okay, there's no denying your girl had a chola background back in the days. So Carla was like, thought it was so fun and clever. And she didn't even know this. And she's like, it's going to be like, we're two badasses, think me vida loca and chola. And I was like, ooh, that's a little bit too real for me. But okay, we can go there. It's fun. We had his lowrider
in the background.
Yeah, we had my husband's lowrider in the background. We were about that life, okay? But no, it was a fun video. And who knew that 2 years later, we'd end up here.
Yeah. Comments. Leave some comments if you've seen it. And
but if y'all ain't got nothing nice to say, don't leave us.
That's right. Don't keep your opinion to yourself.
There's no negativity. We don't need the naysayers. We don't need the negativity. Carla and I have already gotten a few DMs, the curiosas.
Yeah.
Y'all love the chismes, so I'm gonna keep it real. We've already been getting some DMs like, ¿cómo se conozcan? Like, how do you guys know each other? So what's the association? Yeah. Y'all real curious. So this is why we're doing this.
This is for you.
This is for
you
y'all.
Curious bitches. Okay. And it's a love letter to the community. We love you.
But no.
We're nice, pero no te pasas. There we go.
that.
Only that's our policy.
What do we say? Con amor and good energy. That's all I'm like.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm vibrating these days. Con amor and good energy. Because you know what?
If it's not for you, that's okay, baby. Keep going. Yes. Life is big.
So I think I'd love to end this. It's like, I would love you to share what you're working on currently. In addition, because I think it's helpful for people to know. It's like, yes, there's Casita del Sol, but we're also chingonas and we have things we're working on. So what are you currently working on? Tell people. Tell them where they can find you. Yeah.
Well, I'm early on in my YouTube journey. So I've just been really called to create more content. I think when I started this business, I knew there was like underrepresented groups, but I had no idea how big it was. Honestly, my journey has been a little bit different. Like, I've come to the realization now that I don't want to be in Target. I can't handle it. It's too. I've watched what Michelle has done, like firsthand with Macy's and how hard it is. Like, I'm like, no, no, no.
She's like, look, girl. You could be the first and only Latina.
I'm like, you know what? That's for you. That is for you. And I love it.
But that's so beautiful that I think, again, showing our community that, like, you are pursuing your passion project, what makes you happy, what moves you. Yeah. And to be able to take that step and say, okay, I'm going to take now my business on a more curated boutique level, but I'm going to also go pursue what I enjoy doing because I feel like I have a lot to share with our community.
Exactly. So like the whole point of Casita Candles was to have these really juicy conversations about culture, and it's almost 4 years later and I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah. So I'm
But you're going to. You're on the path.
Hard, right? I'm getting there. Yeah. And like this podcast is step one, lots more content to come, and it's all from love.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
I love that. And I'm just proud of you. I just want to say that. No. Because I know that that's a big leap and a big jump.
Yeah.
And I think you have taught me certain things that I'm kind of putting into motion in my business. And I think for me, I still want to be in Target, though. Yeah, Target, but not as bad as before. I think things that I've dialed down. I told Carla a year ago when she asked me what would it mean, for those that don't know, I'm the first Latina candle brand. So Casita Michi is the first Latina candle brand in Macy's, right?
What year did that happen?
That happened 2 years ago. That happened in the fall of 2021. And at the time, there was actually no Latina representation in a candle brand in any major retailer. I did not know that until they shared that with me, because I had to sign diversity forms and papers. And so at the time that I launched, I was the first Latina owned, and on the same day, shout out to Aisha Vela Negra. She became the first Afro-Latina candle brand. So her and I launched on the same day. We ended up connecting because it was a very big moment for us. I don't think we realized the shift that was happening at that point, and the spaces we were opening up for other people. You don't realize that till people tell you. So that was beautiful, and I'm so grateful for that. But then you hunger for more. That's for me. That's, I think, the passion and the drive. And I was like, okay, I'm so grateful for Macy's. This is great. Let's do this. 2 years later, I have a great still relationship with them. I'm so happy to have been, again, one of the first in any major retailer, because people now see themselves. The mission that I set out to create of creating more representation through intentional storytelling, when I get that people see themselves in this poderosa candle, chingona candle, it's gratifying. It's like super humbling and gratifying. But you asked me a year ago, what would Target mean? And I guess somewhere along the way, I felt at the time that it meant the American dream. And now I don't feel that way, because I know that with or without Target, I'm successful. And I think I want to share that because our community needs to understand that with or without that, I'm still successful. I'm still a chingona. I'm still going to be making boss moves. I think that it would just, for me, I wanted it because, again, it's the visibility. It's showing our people what is possible. That if they start seeing more of themselves, we shop at Target, we shop at all these big brands, and we're very intentional, you and I. Like, we buy products that are made by our people for our people because we want to support them.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's Siete Foods or Salud.
Salud.
Shout out to
Tamarindo.
Salud. You know, like we're super intentional.
we
like
are.
I tell people head to toe, like this is, you know, these earrings when I'm out, like, oh, this is this and this is that, or this is from a small own because
shop small.
I've been always, because I know that people are shopping me small. So I try to be intentional. So moving forward, you know, yes, would I like to be more retail spaces? Yes, but I realize it doesn't mean that without that I'm not successful. And I think for me, it's just being able to share the empowering vibes. You know, my candles are just really about empowering vibes and empowering mujeres and empowering people to step into their poder, step into their worth, practice self-care intentionally. And so what I got going on is all that.
Tell us what's coming. Are you gonna tell us what's coming, or are you gonna keep it?
I mean, I guess I can drop a little hint. So, okay, y'all. I'm currently only in 5 stores.
Hold on, 5 Macy's
stores.
2 of them are flagships?
So I'm in New York in Herald Square, which is like one of the biggest retail stores in the world.
Yeah, it is.
Ridiculous. I'm in San Francisco, my hometown.
Yeah.
At Union Square. I'm in Chicago, Texas, and Washington. Wow. But come September 1st, girl, let's just say you're going to be able to find Casita Michi in every single Macy's store. So it's a little, we haven't done the math.
Woo!
Because we're still working out all this stuff, but it's a little over 345 stores throughout the U.S. that will be carrying a very exclusive, a very exclusive candle created. It's my love letter to my community. It's a saying that's very powerful. It speaks volumes. It's about resilience. It's about exactly what's happening here. It's everything. So that's all I can say. But it's going to be a one-off custom curated candle in celebration of Latina Heritage Month in September. And I'm just really excited for the opportunity to be able to be in that many stores because I feel like now I'm introducing this to a whole new set of people. And I always say Latinos aren't the only ones that can buy my candles. It's for everyone. If you are an ally, a supporter, or just love quality
appreciation.
Appreciate quality stuff. Yeah. Like go out and support your girl. That's all I ask because you guys, we're always clamoring how we want more representation, right? Yeah. We're always clamoring on TV, in music, in Hollywood, and all these stuff and products. But if we aren't out there consuming, purchasing, supporting, shouting out, sharing, even with your podcast. We want more podcasts by our people. Go listen to the podcast. Yeah. Like we need to be intentional about that too. If we want this, it's happening. So I'm telling y'all, go sell me out.
Soportan perras.
Yes, go listen to the Carla Corazon when she's dropping, you know, her Señora Chisme. Because we're here. Chisme. But that's what I have. That's my next big project. Amazing. And I'm just excited for what's in store for us because it's definitely more than just your podcast and your curated collabs, and we'll be sharing that later on this year. But we're just really excited about this. Yeah. So I feel like that's all we're giving them today.
That's enough for now.
That's enough for now.
The first taste is free.
But we hope you come back for the chisme because you know we got stories to share. But I just want to thank you.
I want to thank you too. I'm so proud of us, honestly.
And you know what Carla always says that makes me feel better?
What?
She says, thank you for existing.
Aww.
I'm going to thank you for existing today.
Thank
you. So, con amor and energy.
Con amor y energía.
Bye. So, girl, we got to let them know where can they find you?
Where you can find me.
Not your address. Not your
my
address.
No. You can find me on Instagram at the Carla Corazon, and you can find Casita Candles at Casita_candles.
Yes, underscore y'all. Okay, don't be don't be following candles. These knockoffs.
Yeah.
The fake brands. Okay, and you can find me under Casita Michi. And my other business, if y'all want to support MB Creative Co., because I do have another business, y'all, then you can find us It's empty now, but there'll be more to come at Casita del Sol
Yeah.
on Instagram.